Hello everybody, this is ESL Vietnam Zone podcast, and in today's episode we are going to talk about prepositions in English language. Prepositions play a large part in the structure of the English language, and although prepositions seems an easy topic at the first glance, it causes much difficulty to the foreign learners of English. I find this topic extremely difficult, maybe I should say confusing, because there is no logical reason why one preposition is right in a certain context while another is wrong. Let's take a look at the following examples. Get on the bike. Exactly like a book is on the table, you are on the bike. Basically, you sit on the bike. Get on the bus. This one doesn't make any sense for me at all. I am more likely to say get in the bus, because I consider it a closed space inside of the bus. Get on the bus makes me believe I have to go somewhere on the top of the bus. Note, use the preposition on for public transport and in for private transport. Definition of prepositions. Prepositions are words used with nouns or pronouns to show the relation in which they stand in regard to another word or words in a sentence. Prepositions can be single words or a group of words, and one of their main functions is to make a phrase with the help of the noun or pronoun that follows. Basically, prepositions link nouns, pronouns, or phrases to other words in a sentence. Position of prepositions in sentence. Prepositions are usually placed in front of the noun or pronoun they relate to. Prepositions can be found in questions and in relative and interrogative clauses as well. Example: this is my friend I was telling you about. List of prepositions. This is a list of prepositions that are most commonly used in their usage. There are many other prepositions in English language. At. Preposition at is used with an exact point of time. Examples: at 2 o'clock, at that time, etc. It can also be used with periods of time, not necessarily so easily defined, such as festivities and weekend. Examples: at Christmas, at Easter, at the weekend. It also has a third function to denote place in the meaning near, close to, somewhere within or near this area. Examples: at the office, at the bus stop, at home. On. Preposition on is used with more general points of time than at, usually with days and dates. Examples: on Wednesday, on June 16th, on Saturday afternoon, on his birthday. Preposition on creates big confusion among Vietnamese learners. It is also used as a place preposition, giving the meaning of touching a surface of something but not inside, partially or otherwise the surface itself. Example: on the wall, on the floor, on the ceiling. In. Preposition in is used with months, seasons, years, decades, and longer periods of time in general, and parts of the day. In winter, in 1995, in December, in the morning. Preposition in is also used to show the total length of time taken for the completion of some activities. Example: an airplane will get you from Vietnam to Romania in 12 hours. Or to state how long the period is for the action to take place. Example: we have to be ready in 3 minutes. Preposition in is used for places as well. Examples: in Vietnam, in Saigon, etc. and for closed spaces such as in the box, in the classroom, in the bag, etc. Preposition in is also used with clothes with the meaning wearing. Example, a girl in a red dress. By. Preposition by is used to show the latest time at which an action can be finished or was finished. Note, the action should be done before or at the latest at the time indicated by the time expression after by, not after it. Example, I have to save $1,000 by December. 4. Preposition for is used with periods of time and it shows how long an action lasts. Example, I have lived in Vietnam for 3 years. It can also be used to show that the action is done on behalf of someone else. Example, I've done the shopping for you. When you are buying a present. Example, I found a nice present for my mother. Or to explain the function of something. Example, this is used for copying samples. During. Preposition during is used to express an idea that a situation persists throughout the whole of a specific period of time. Example, I work during the day. I can meet you only in the evening. When an event took place within a specified period of time. Example, I have learned Vietnamese during my time in Vietnam. Or, contrary to the above definition, when the action took place sometime within the time period in question, not the whole period. Example, I'll visit you during the holidays. From. Preposition from gives, shows the starting point of an action and it's almost always found with to, until or till. Example, I have English class from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Note, don't confuse it with from and since. Since is used with a moment of time in past and with an action that continues to the moment of speaking. Naturally, from is also a place preposition indicating movement away from the place after it. Example, I've just come back from London. 4. Preposition for is used for direction only when the verb indicates the beginning of a movement. Example, I left for Vietnam. Some other uses of for with the object or purpose of. Example, to run for exercise. Intended to belong to or be used in connection with. Example, equipment for the army, a closet for dishes. Suiting the purpose or needs of. Example, medicine for the aged. In order to obtain, gain, or acquire. Example, a suit for alimony, to work for wages. Used to express a wish, as for something to be experienced or obtained. Example, O for a cold drink. Sensitive or responsive to. Example, an eye for beauty. Desirous of. Example, a longing for something, a taste for fancy clothes. In consideration or payment of. In return for. Example, 3 for $1, to be thanked for one's effort. Appropriate or adapted to. Example, a subject for speculation, clothes for winter. With regard or respect to. Example, pressed for time, too warm for April. During the continuance of. Example, for a long time. In favor of, on the side of. Example, to be for honest government. In place of, instead of. Example, a substitute for butter. In the interest of, on behalf of. Example, to act for a client. In exchange for, as an offset to. Example, blow for blow, money for goods. In punishment of. Example, payment for the crime. In honor of. Example, to give a dinner for a person. With the purpose of reaching. Example, to start for London. Contributive to. Example, for the advantage of everybody. In order to save. Example, to flee for one's life. In order to become. Example, to train recruits for soldiers. In assignment or attribution to. Example, an appointment for the afternoon. That's for you to decide. Such as to allow of or to require. Example, too many for separate mention. Such as results in. Example, his reason for going. Unaffecting, as affecting the interest or circumstances of. Example, bad for one's health. In proportion or with reference to. Example, he is tall for his age. In the character of, as being. Example, to know a thing for a fact. By reason of, because of. Example, to shoot for joy, a city famed for its beauty. In spite of. Example, he's a decent guy for all that. To the extent or amount of. Example, to walk for a mile. Used to introduce a subject in an infinitive phrase. Towards. Example, preposition it's towards time for me or to go. Toward in American English carries the meaning in the general direction of something or somebody. Example, they went towards the exit but were stopped by a security guard. 2. Preposition to is generally used for movement in the direction of and reaching the destination desired. Example, they ran to the exit but were stopped by a security guard. Under. Preposition under is a place preposition. It can be a stationary place preposition. Example, the cat is under the table. Or indicate movement. Example, they ran under the bridge and hid in the ruins behind it. Also compare under, underneath, below, beneath. Over versus above. Over equals vertically above, above equals higher than. At least this is how I use these two prepositions. Above as an adverb. As an adverb, above has the following meanings. On high, overhead. Example, the clouds above. To a degree that is over zero. Example, 15 degrees above. In or to a higher place. In an earlier part of a given text. Example, the problems cited above have led to a number of suggestions for reform. In or to a higher rank or position. Example, the ranks of major and above. Above as a preposition. As a preposition, above has the following meanings. Over or higher than. Example, a cool spring above the timberline. Superior to in rank, position, or number, greater than. Example, put principles above expectancy. Beyond the level or reach of. Example, a shot that was heard above the music. Too honorable to bend to. Example, I am above pretty intrigue. More than. Example, somewhat above normal temperature. Upstream of. Example, a dam positioned 10 miles above the town. North of. Example, Minnesota is above Iowa. Above as a noun. As a noun, above has the following meanings. An earlier part of a given text. Example, refer to the above for that information. The person or persons already referred to in a text. Example, the above hereby affix their signatures. Above as an adjective. As an adjective, above has the following meaning. Appearing earlier in the same text. Example, flows in the above interpretation. Above as an idiom. As an idiom, above has the following meaning. Above all. Examples, over and above all other factors or consideration. Another example, above all, tell the truth. Below versus under. Under equals vertically below. Below equals lower than. Below. Below is preferred when one thing is not directly under another. Example, when the sun sets, it sinks below the horizon. Below is used in measurements of temperature, height, and in other cases where we think of a vertical scale. Example, the temperature is 10 degrees below zero. The Dead Sea is below sea level. She is below average in intelligence. The ankle is below the knee. Under. Under is used when something is covered or hidden by what is directly over it. Examples, I think the cat is under the bed. The whole village was under the water. The ankle is under the knee, not directly under it. We usually use under, not below, to mean less than or younger than. Example, there were under 50 people at the meeting. You cannot see this film if you are under 18. With. Preposition with is used with anything which is carried. Example, a man with an umbrella. Preposition with can also be used for diseases, deformities. Example, a girl with a limp. And with qualities of character. Example, a man with common sense. Please know the use of with in I am going to cinema with my mother. Other uses for with. Against. Example, he picked a fight with a class bully. In the company of. Alongside. Alongside of. Close to. Near to. Example, he went with his friends. In addition to. As an accessory to. Example, she owns a motorbike with a sidecar. In support of. Example, we are with you all the way. As an instrument. By means of. Example, cut with a knife. That's it for today. This is Dan, and this episode was all about the prepositions in English language. Talk to you next time.